Good morning and happy Monday. Jackie Broman here, and we are starting our weekly Monday morning short snippets of legal information all over again for 2021. So just about every Monday that I'm available, I'm going to come to you with a snippet of legal information. What I did in January instead was I ran some wellness sessions. I ran 9, in fact, raising money for the Cancer Council, where people could come along and do my morning workout with me. I used to run yoga Pilates classes, but it's been about 10 years since I did that. But I still do it for myself. So there's 9 actual pre-recorded replays available now. And what we're doing is asking for a donation to the Cancer Council, and you can get access to those 9 and you can watch them wherever you like, whenever you like, or as little as you like. But yes, it's a little bit timely to be raising funds for the Cancer Council for myself, because I've had a couple of skin cancer biopsies just last week, and so it just really does bring it to mind, and that we should be getting our skin checked as well, with last year in 2020 not wanting to go to the doctors very often. We may have let things slide a little bit. So all that being said, today's topic is actually about moving into a retirement village. So this could be just moving into an over 55s living facility. But what I wanted to talk on was some of the main types of arrangements where people can move into a retirement village. So this is not an aged care facility. This is one of those lifestyle communities more often than not. So you've got your over 55s communities, and a lot of those are set up where you actually lease your site. So you do pay an ongoing weekly or monthly amount of rent, so to speak, for the site, which also contributes to the maintenance of the community. So there's some maintenance of the front yards and the communal space, and there's often a community hub where events are arranged and so on and so forth. But then you actually usually own the building that is on that site. So you don't have your name on any title because you're renting the land, but you own the building. So there is something actually to sell should you need to move on or you pass away, that would come back to your family. So that is one form of retirement village. The other 2 main types of retirement villages are usually more expensive than just owning the building and then renting the land. So there is these types of facilities where you go in and you actually do get your name on something, and you pay a fair bit more for those sort of units. You can either own the building itself. You would still pay some monthly or annual fee to the manager of the facility, so that there's still grounds and there's usually still a community centre. But your name is actually on the title of that unit. Quite often these arrangements also have some kind of emergency button. They don't provide care very often at all to the unit, but there's at least someone who's around to check, or some way of calling for help if there's a fall or something. So in this version, you own the unit. However, you often sign terms of actually going into a place like this. It's a little bit like owning a unit with an owner's corporation or a body corporate, because you sign to abide by the rules of the community, and also the managing company often has the right to resell it for you. So you can't just put it on the open market, because they want to vet who comes in and out. And there's often, they build in what their fee is to do that, and they often require a complete refurb, no matter how short or long you were there for. So just to bear in mind, going straight into these things, the money that comes back to your family or to you to move into something else may not be anywhere near as much as what you put in the first place. A similar sort of arrangement is where you actually only get like a 99-year lease. So your name still goes on the title as leasing it, but the managing company still owns the property. And again, you sign up to the conditions of living in the community, and part of those conditions are that they would on-sell that lease if something happened to you. You're more likely than not going to live there for 99 years, so there's still a term of a lease that they can on-sell to someone else after you've moved on. And quite often when you're leasing, you also end up owning some shares in the managing company. So that then actually gives you some more security than just a lease, because you do actually have some ownership right, along with all the other residents of that management company. So those are your three main types of retirement village if you were looking to move into something like that. So there's pros and cons of each. The retirement village where you're leasing has more of an ongoing regular payment. If you didn't have enough income to make sure you're servicing that, it might be a bit of a burden, but it's usually a lower amount to go in, and then as well you get less back because you only got a building to sell and not an actual ownership. A lot of people get tied to actually wanting their name on title, but there's pros and cons of that as well. As I've said, you go into one of these places and the management facility then pretty much controls how and to whom you can sell it, and their fees are pretty non-negotiable. So, and those fees can be higher than a commercial real estate agent. So just bear in mind as well that going into those, the pros might be that yes, you feel like you have ownership, even though you pay more than the other, and there's less ongoing fees, but just understand when you leave, what comes back to you might be a fair bit less than what you put in. So yeah, weighing up the pros and cons of looking around at all the options that you have for a retirement lifestyle community is well and truly worthwhile. There's different legal protections for each. There's different kind of status for each type of ownership as well. So that's what we would be considering if someone was saying, this is where I'm wanting to go, can you have a look over this for me? So hopefully that's helpful. Maybe a bit much for Monday morning, but these live videos I do post onto our page, so they stay there and you can watch the replay at any stage. You could also, if it's relevant for someone else, tag their name into the comments section, and then they can watch the video if it's relevant for them. If it's a bit personal and you don't want it to show up publicly that you've tagged them, then of course you can also share it to them via Messenger as well through Facebook. So all those different options. We're here to have a look over any of them, but in terms of pros and cons, really it's still ultimately your decision of weighing those pros and cons. We can give you the legal advice of your rights and obligations under each, and then you have to weigh up what suits your lifestyle best and what your main objectives are as well. So Monday mornings, I'm back doing them again. I will catch you next Monday, and I hope you have a great week, and welcome to February.